Hello everybody, this is Fi. Checking out Whipdash. This is a game I've not played before. We're going to give it a playtest, see if we can give some useful feedback. I've got the game page open. It simply mentions the controls in the description here. It mentions keyboard and mouse as well as gamepad. I'm going to try gamepad for this. It looks to be a good old-fashioned platformer. So I've got my Xbox controller here, but it says left stick is move, south button is jump. Wall jump, air jump, which I guess south meaning bottom in the button arrangement there. The face buttons, right stick would be whip. Interesting. It's on the stick. And east button is dash. Okay. That's about it. So I guess we're gonna jump into this, see what we can find out here. I've not seen anything past the screen. I did notice there's a weird border around the edge, kind of a blue. I don't know if that shows up in the capture or not, but there's like a blue border around the edge of the screen. Not sure what that's all about, but looks like I don't see the gamepad input actually working in the menu here. It looks like we have play and exit, or play and quit. I'll just click play with the mouse there. Let's see. Alright, we got gamepad input. Looks like the time is scurrying onward in the top right there. I don't know if that's going to actually affect gameplay, or if that's just for score or whatever. Check my volume real quick so I can get an idea of what. Alright, seems like reasonable volume levels for the game here. So it seems like when. Oh! Okay, that's not good. Alright, so D-pad doesn't appear to work, the D-pad input. Left stick does work, but there's either no or very low dead zone set on the stick, so that's a very problematic thing. You definitely want to set that dead zone. You can see sometimes when I stop, for instance, my hand is off the controller right now and I'm kind of walking around because of that lack of dead zone. So for that I suggest like 0.4. It's a pretty universal setting for dead zone. I wouldn't go any lower than 0.3 personally. But I think 0.4 is a good setting for dead zone, but not whatever this is, because this is way too low. So in addition to the drift problem here, you also get just general inaccuracies, like miss inputs basically a lot when you have no dead zone. Just because when the stick goes back to the center, just when you're doing normal movements with it, it has a very high tendency to just like throw all these different inputs in that you don't want, because around the center it's like extremely sensitive to various inputs. But if it's just left and right, it might not be too bad. Sometimes if you like let go of the stick too fast, it might throw a input in the opposite direction or something, but so far it seems like it might be usable anyways. You can jump with this button, and then I believe it said, oh, okay. So this is the dash button. I would probably use the X button for that if I could, because it's easier to kind of put my thumb across. I mean the Xbox X button. It's easier to put my thumb across the bottom button and the left button, and kind of use them both simultaneously rather than. It's a little bit more awkward to use the right button and the bottom button simultaneously. That being said, I think looks like we got some kind of a ledge effect here, where if I jump up and touch the ledge, it kind of. Is that just part of the normal jumping? It looks like it kind of gives you a little boost up over the ledge, which is kind of, I guess, a little bit forgiving or something. That's kind of nice. The jump is a little floaty, but not sure if it's a bad thing. Looks like I can jump up and jump higher than you I think you could. I did notice that when I run into a wall, it kind of turns around backwards as soon as I hit the wall, which is kind of strange. I'm not sure if you're trying to do like some kind of a wall sliding effect. Oh, you can climb the walls. Okay. Interesting. So it's not like it's not a wall jump in the traditional sense where you actually go out away from the wall. But you can climb the walls like this, so that's interesting. I don't think I've seen it done quite like that before. But I do like games like this, like you know, the Mega Man X style wall jumping, where you can climb up the walls and stuff. This obviously, I guess you can jump away from the wall too if you want. You just push in the direction you have the option to, I suppose. But yeah, I do like this kind of thing. It is a little bit unresponsive, so I think it's waiting for you to begin falling again. So for instance, if I press the button too fast, it just kind of completely ignores the input, and that doesn't feel very good in my opinion. But I guess I could see the thought process behind it, because maybe you don't want the player to just like spam the button ultra fast and just kind of fly up the wall. But I would suggest trying that anyways. It might just feel better, you know. This way you just have to kind of get used to a certain rhythm to it, I guess. But I don't like it when I like hit the button and it just doesn't do anything. It just feels like the game is ignoring me, you know. That being said, I think maybe we can do a dash jump. Oh. Oh, that's weird. So the dash interacts with the jump in weird ways. You can see sometimes it doesn't really go up if I jump too soon. I don't really quite understand what's going on there, so. So at the bottom there's, looks like some kind of inventory or something. I don't know how to interact with that. Oh, I can do double jump. Okay, and in the bottom, the little icon. I'm having trouble standing still. Has a little, I don't know, like it fades out. That works for the dash too, I guess. Although the time at which it fades out doesn't seem to correspond to how long it takes for me to use it again, so I'm not sure what's going on there. The stick, okay. Wow, wait, what? Interesting. So you press the stick in the opposite direction that you want it to go. Oh, it's very laggy though. Like it takes a long time to update to where you move the stick, so that doesn't feel very good in my opinion. I don't know if there's just like a lot of smoothing going on or something. It's like, it just feels very unresponsive. Yeah, I don't entirely understand what. Oh yeah, how unresponsive it is. It makes it really annoying to try and do something quick. So if I don't press the stick at all, and I press it in the right direction in the first place, then I don't have to like wait for it to turn, because it just kind of instantly goes in that direction. So as long as I aim properly the first time, I guess, that it kind of works. That's fun. Oh, so you have two whips, and then you have to land on the ground again, I guess, something like that. Interesting. Okay, that feels cool. I mean, you got some kind of a sort of interesting whip effects. You can kind of swing around a bit. They sort of pull you up a little bit depending on, I think it's like if your momentum is going downwards, it kind of cancels it out, but if it's going upwards when it connects, then it seems to pull you up. A lot of the time I'm letting off of the thumbstick and the whip isn't coming out, so I don't know what that means. Like, why is it not? And I think maybe if I get close to a wall, does it reset itself? Oh, what the? Because sometimes it's like, I can do it 3 times, so it's like, even though there's only 2 icons at the bottom, something is making it reset. I don't know what's going on there. And yeah, so it's like ultra inconsistent. I don't know why it just doesn't work sometimes. Okay, so I have an idea. It may be... might be some kind of logic about how it returns to the center. That it chooses whether or not to shoot the whip out, depending on how it returns to the center. The stick, I mean. And that might be getting disrupted by the fact that there's no dead zones on the sticks. Is that might be a problem there, but in practice it's just not doing anything a lot of the time. And it's like if the whip just doesn't work when I do the input, it feels really annoying because it's very unreliable, you know. My gosh, this looks tricky. Oh, wait, what? Okay, so I can like... I only have 2 whips. I don't know. How do I deal with this? There's not been any... There's not been anything to like teach me how to play the game or anything like that, so... oh my gosh, this seems quite unforgiving. Kind of the way that the physics work with the whip. One thing you might want to consider is because of the fact that your current momentum when you use the whip has kind of a dramatic effect on what the whip does. That can make it a bit, I won't say inconsistent, but sort of just unpredictable in how the whip is going to affect your movement. It's quite variable. So, I mean, it involves, you'd have to kind of rework the whole game around it, but something to consider is maybe just kind of ignoring the current player's inertia and having the whip effect be kind of always the same in terms of how it affects the player's movement. That make it much more consistent, and in being consistent, then the player can more reliably make judgments and, you know what to expect when they use it. Whereas in this case, you know, like I said before, if you already start falling or something when you use the whip, then you might just like keep falling. Whereas if you use it slightly earlier when you're going upwards, then it might pull you upwards. It's like a lot of variation there, depending on like really small differences in timing and stuff like this, which might just make it a lot harder. And I think I've noticed on occasion when I try to use the whip, it uses up like both of them, even though I only used it once. I don't know what's going on there. I think that I noticed that happening. It seems quite buggy. I don't know actually what I'm supposed to do for this part. Alright, I have to land on the ground to get my whips back here. Just gonna try this. So I think maybe, yeah, see, that time I got 3. Maybe this depends on the distance you can shoot the whip. If it works or not, I'm not sure how true that is. It goes like way off the screen, so if that is true, it would be kind of annoying because there's no possible way to judge it because of how far off the screen it goes. But maybe not. So yeah, I think this would, you know, whatever jump puzzle this is, it would be a lot easier if I had infinite whips. I think that's obvious, but given the limited number of whips, this is kind of... I forgot about the dash. I haven't been using that. It's just not throwing the whip sometimes. It's annoying. Alright. So how do we use the whip and the dash together? It just shoots you sideways a little bit. It doesn't really give you like any momentum to work with, the little dash thing. You have a double jump. I haven't been using that either. Oh, alright, well if I did that... Okay, so if I did that a little bit faster, I think that would have pulled me up there, but that's kind of getting into that situation like I was saying before. Like these tiny differences in timing can make completely different outcomes in how the physics work. I can't get this to work consistently, so it's like... Alright, I gotta use the double jump here. And that's gonna let me... Okay, so if I use the double jump, that's gonna let me manipulate my momentum better, so I can use these a lot better. That should make a big difference. Alright, so that's good to figure out. That helps. So we've got spikes. I'm gonna guess they're like... If they're gonna kill me instantly or something. Well, let's see what happens when you die. Okay, it just goes back, deaths 1. That's fine. What was I gonna say? Okay, so yeah, so there's these situations where you can see like to the left and to the right, there's these pits where I can't really see down below, like if I'm gonna fall into something here. Especially when you have these like spikes and stuff like that, you really want to be able to see where you're going. And part of that comes down to level design, you know, just make sure that you don't have these stupid situations where actually it looks like, I don't know, it's not, well, I could double jump over this. Okay, double jump. So it looks like this pit right here is kind of an example of that, where it's just, you got some spikes down here. I could kind of see them when I'm approaching, if I just happen to notice in the corner there when I jump up here. But once I'm already up here, oh, that was weird. I pressed jump. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. So you have the double jump set up so that you have to be falling again before you can jump the second time. I would suggest changing that so you can use it at any time. It just it's frustrating when the game just eats your inputs like that. So I would endeavor to remove those kinds of things. In that case, I actually just died from it because I didn't wait until the right time to press jump again. Any case, yeah, so right here, I don't know what's down below me in that pit, but I just fall down and then it's like, oh, there's spikes and I die, and it's a one-hit kill, death kind of thing. That can be pretty annoying. So one thing you can do is really simple, is just make it so you can move, look down, you know, just hold down for a moment and maybe it'll shift the camera down. That can help a lot. And the other thing, like I said, is like the level design in general. And it may be the case that you have kind of small levels and you can restart as many times as you want, and you know, maybe that's okay, but at the same time, like if you're going for like a hardcore platformer, sometimes it could take a long time to get through the levels because they're really hard. You don't want the player to like play a level 100 times, then like finally get through a really hard part and then just like suddenly fall into something like this and then have to start over the level again because they're gonna like rage quit really fast. So yeah, I think I've beaten that idea to death, so let's continue on here. But yeah, so in general, there's a lot of stuff that I can't so much see off the screen. I don't know if that necessarily matters that much, but just given the way that the game kind of plays out. I don't really know what to expect up there. Oh my gosh, okay, wall jump. Oh yeah, there's a lot of verticality here. Okay. I don't really know what direction to go in. This is kind of different. I mean, in general, I consider it kind of a bad thing if you get that feeling that you don't know what direction to go in. It's like the game seems to just kind of sprawl out. I'm going to assume, I think that, okay, this looks like it's just like a weird dead end up here. And this is kind of hard to get into, so I don't know if this is just like to troll the player or something, like, oh, there's nothing in here. It doesn't seem like a example of good gameplay or game design to me. Same with this, it's just like, kind of just like trolling the player. Like I said, I think it just, apart from potentially frustrating someone, I guess, it just seems to serve to, you know, confuse the player not knowing which direction they should go when you just present them with like all these different directions, and it's just like, it doesn't feel right. Like even if you choose the right direction the first time, the player's gonna be like, okay, but what was in all the other directions? They're gonna like feel like they missed out on stuff and that kind of thing. So it can be really annoying. Just not really knowing what the game is expecting of you. I feel like I want to know what if I can land on that next to those spikes. I'm finding the controls maybe aren't quite tight enough to do that kind of thing. Part of that, I'm sure, comes down to the lack of the dead zone. So I guess, yeah, I'd suggest fixing that first. I don't know. It feels like it's hard to do really kind of fine movements in the air and such. To make like really precise jumps. So I think in you know, other platformers I've played where they might have really tight controls, I would probably be pretty comfortable with just like, you know, jumping onto like a little small corner right next to a death spike. Is just kind of one of those things where, you know, you have enough experience with games and stuff that you're comfortable doing that kind of thing. So I'm talking about up here, of course, where there's little ledges next to the spikes there. It looks like you could land on that pretty easily and jump over or whatever, but with these current controls, I don't feel like I could do it. So I think I want to like wall jump. I can't get that whip to work consistently. There we go. Alright, little flag. Oh, okay. Ah, I see. So, yeah, so this is a little annoying. It doesn't really matter that you die instantly, but the fact that you... I mean, because you didn't know that there were spikes here on this level before you spawn in, so it's really easy to run into these. The fact that you actually keep track of the deaths, it kind of feels like you're punishing the player for, you know, you trolling them again, that kind of thing. I mean, I don't know if it's supposed to be like those Mario games, what do they call those? The Kaizo Mario games, where it's like intended to be as awful as possible to the players or something. That was awkward. I was trying to land on this here. I think that's kind of the idea. Oof. Oh my gosh. Yeah, struggling a bit with the controls. Alright, couldn't really see down here very well, but... Alright, so this is gonna get to the point where it's gonna come down a lot to how well the controls and the movement is working, and I feel like currently it's not all the way there, so it might get frustrating with these more difficult levels. I don't know if there's a point to coming down here. Oof. Yeah, so... Alright, so there is analog movement, like left and right. So you do move slower if you move the stick a little bit, but I can't tell how much of this is just purely because of the lack of the dead zone and how much is other things relevant to the game's movement. Generally, I think it's a good idea for these kinds of games to have kind of sort of a binary movement where you're like either running full speed or you're not running at all, you know, rather than having the analog input. But I don't know that that's important here or not, but this is definitely getting more frustrating to deal with for kind of the wrong reasons. So I'm not sure how successful I'm going to be with all of this. It's a little hard to tell whether you're using a wall jump or a double jump, because they... Okay, yeah, they seem about identical. I was trying to tell if the sound effects were actually different, but I think it's just randomized, like the pitch of it a little bit. So it might be nice to have some kind of, maybe a visual indication of the fact that you're doing a wall jump instead, just so you can be sure, like, you still have your double jump, that kind of thing. I'm not going to look down in the bottom of the screen while I'm in the middle of a jump to see if I have my double jump, you know, that kind of thing. So I haven't been using this. Yeah, see. It comes down to the manipulating the momentum correctly here. Come on, work. Yeah, the thing just doesn't work. I don't know what else to do. It just doesn't come out. So I'm trying. It's also hard to be accurate with the stick because you have to do it like in midair and mid jump and with the right timing. So you don't have time to aim the thing. So a lot of times, like I'm trying to shoot it like roughly straight up, and I'm kind of doing it off to the angle like this. So that makes this kind of puzzle a lot harder if there's like, you know, there's a platform right here and I'm trying to like get past it to throw the thing up here, and I just keep hitting the platform. It's going to screw up my jump. Also, along with that, I should mention, because I doubt you're aware of this, but because of the way that the thumbsticks are set up, how they kind of work with the human anatomy, people generally, like, if they try to press up and down on the sticks... Whoa, wait a minute, what happened there? Oh, you can push away. Wait, I didn't even... Wait, that's awkward. I don't know if that's... Is that intended? Is there some utility to that? I don't know why it goes in the opposite direction. I don't know how to use that. In any case, so... When people do like up, down, left, right on a thumbstick with their thumb, they actually do it in a way that's like slightly rotated because of the way that the hand anatomy works, and they do that without really realizing it. It's not like literally straight up 90 degrees, up and down, and left and right, you know. Generally people do it at a slight angle, and so it's easy, especially if I'm trying to just go upwards. A lot of the times if I'm just, you know, maybe not thinking about it much, I'm gonna have a slight angle to the right with you know, throwing this. So if I think about it a lot, I can kind of do it more vertical, but if I'm just not really thinking about it, it's pretty likely that I'm gonna angle it to up and to the right a little bit, even if I just want to go upwards. So that was weird. I got 3, and I wasn't really trying, but I got up here, so that's nice, I guess. Okay, that was weird. I definitely pressed jump again, but so what might have happened? The jumping, the sort of jump physics are a little weird, where it's kind of like you jump and you kind of hover and then you kind of fall quite rapidly. I might suggest evening that out a little bit, in particular because you can't even use your double jump until you start falling. Once you start falling, you fall like really fast, so it's kind of a really sudden thing. Whereas if you're kind of jumping in a more natural way, where you kind of go up a little slower and then fall down a little slower, and not just like kind of floating at the apex as much, makes it a little easier for your brain to work out the timing and stuff like that. I think I might have... Maybe I just touched the jump button just ever so slightly too late, and I touched the top of the spikes. There's a little bit of input latency from the VSync and such, which is kind of to be expected, but I don't know. Definitely felt a little weird. Because it's like such a simple thing to just do like a double jump over some spikes, but if I just like land in them, it's like, wait, what happened? Let's see if I can get up here again. That's straightforward enough. Oh my gosh, okay. So it was a little awkward. As you can see, it kind of swung me to the left, but then it kind of stole all of my momentum when it let go of the thing, even though I was like pressing to the left. It just kind of made me fall straight down, so that was a little weird. You might want to... I'm not really sure how that worked out exactly. Let's see if I can like recreate recreate that to some reasonable extent here. Ah. I don't know, maybe you just want to give like a little impulse or something after the whip lets go in the direction you're pressing. Something like that might be helpful. Let's see if I can actually get over this. Okay, yeah, see that falling speed is making things a lot harder. Okay, pretty unforgiving collisions on the spikes there. Ah. Oh my gosh. That's not where I wanted that whip to go. Alright, this time we made it. Wait, is it down? Okay. It's not nice again, like I can't see where it is and there's spikes all around. Alright, so we got to the next level. Another dead end. Getting a bit maze-like, I suppose. So I think I kind of did that effect where you kind of bump over the edge there. So like if I jump here and I hold to the right, it just goes right into the spikes. Because the way it kind of bumps you around the edge. It might be nice if it didn't do that, actually. I feel like maybe I should be able to just like jump and hold to the right without that worrying about that happening. Oh, okay. So if I'm holding a direction when I respawn, it doesn't move. Oh my gosh. Ah! So considering how hard it is to like accurately shoot the whip, that kind of thing is very tricky. I guess if I take the time to aim the first one, that seems to work okay. And there's another thing up here. Ugh, this is awkward. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Why? There's nowhere to land. Okay. Which way do I go? Oh, it's over there. Okay. Oof, okay, I got a bit lucky there. Oh, I got another double jump. Wait a minute, what the heck? Come on. Work, please. I can't get the whip to work consistently. And it's making it hard to test this out. Oh my gosh, no! Okay. So apparently after you whip you can get another double jump, which I didn't know. But I can't get this to work, so it's like I can't figure it out how this works exactly. Oh my gosh, this is getting frustrating. Come on. Shoot the whip. It just, oh my gosh. It'll work like in 1 in 3 tries or something, so I just want to try this like really simple thing to understand how the game works, and I can't actually make it happen like twice in a row here to do it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think every time you whip you get another double jump back. Of course you only get 2 whips, so that's interesting. But yeah, I didn't even know that, so that would be helpful to know. So that makes like a big difference in what you can do, clearly. So yeah, I mean, I like that, but it would be nice if the game, you know, like bothered to tell you that you can do that. I haven't really used the dash. It doesn't seem that useful. I'm sure there's going to be moments where it technically is, but the fact that it's just sort of weird, it doesn't really work with your inertia in any way. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not finding the utility of it enough. Oh, there we go again. Oh, see, that's pretty weird with the, again, with the way that the whips are interacting with your inertia. It's really strange if suddenly it just brings you at this weird angle that just throws you straight into the spikes when you expected it to like pull you forward. You don't really know what's gonna happen. That's unusual situation. Okay. I don't know, I think I could have jumped off that wall. My brain wasn't working that fast. Oof. So the trouble with this is it's so narrow, and the way that the whips work, it's just really hard to create a movement that goes kind of cleanly through a narrow horizontal channel like that. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I need to use another whip there. Weird, okay. That's not what I expected. Ah. So this is another situation where I think that this particular jump could be improved significantly if you didn't fall so rapidly. It's kind of increasing the challenge of this dramatically here in a way that's not necessarily that much fun. Because it's just like, as you can see, like sometimes even if you throw another whip out, you're already falling too fast, so you just fall into the spikes. So it's quite strange. I don't know what the intended way through this is. I could, in theory... Oh, I guess you can technically land in that little tiny gap there. That might be helpful. At least... Okay. I was about to say, at least the whips, I seem to be getting the whips to work more consistently, and then I just fell into the spikes because it just didn't come out. That was kind of silly. Wow, okay, I tried to double jump, but apparently failed. Come on. It's just not working now, I don't know. There. Okay, very awkward. Come on. Ah. Doesn't work. Alright. We're here. We can do a wall jump. Oh man. Okay. This one is very difficult. I can do that. That's nice, I guess. Ah. Wow, that was weird. Oof. Just didn't do anything that time. Oh. Wow. Oh no. Oh, come on. Oops. That didn't work. What the crap? It's very hard to manipulate your inertia consistently, so getting through that kind of jump is very challenging. There's so many variables to like whenever you use the whip, like what it's actually going to do, so it's very hard to manage to just like swing yourself through these like narrow passageways of spikes like that. Crap. Ah, fumbled. Alright. Sometimes you do something for too long and it's like your fingers start forgetting what they're doing. It's like saying a word over and over again until it loses meaning, you know? Oh, shoot. Come on! It's probably painful to watch. Apologize if anyone was like watching this and decided to sit through me doing this. Oh, weird. Okay, that was strange. I like actually double jumped but still died from the spikes. Yeah, I mean, you can tell it's possible, and that's kind of the irritating thing about it. It's like you can see it's possible, but there's just so many ways for it to go wrong. Oh, that was weird. Okay. So again, like, if I somehow managed to get that whip ever slightly different timing, and did it a little faster or whatever, would have had to do it pretty darn fast, but I could have kind of swung through that last bit there. Alright, that works. Oh no! It's like the touching the undersides of the spikes curse. Yeah, so as you can see, I kind of like swung upwards and brushed against the spike. Um, it's one of those things that can be really annoying. Something you can consider, it's a really simple thing you could do is just make the spikes actually not kill you unless you are like you have a negative vertical speed, so you're actually falling down, that kind of thing. That could be nice. It's kind of a quality of life thing, and sort of prevents some of these situations where it's just you awkwardly like brush the spikes in a way that doesn't make any sense that it would kill you in like realistic terms, you know, that kind of thing. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Getting the whip to pull you right in that last bit there is very awkward. So I guess... Right. Oh, I'm jumping on the wall anyways here. I think... No, okay, so after dashing you don't get a double jump back, but maybe after touching a wall? I think after you touch the wall you get the double jump back, because then you're in wall jump territory, right? So something else to keep in mind. Ugh. Oh, come on. Wow, okay. That was awkward. Alright, well, I tried. I could probably get this eventually. Already got pretty close here. So clearly that was not the way. Clearly dashing through that last part doesn't work. I think as long as I throw the whip out kind of early, it should work. That was a little awkward. That was also a little awkward. Oh, come on. Ugh. Well, I mean, the worst part about the whole thing is just dealing with the fact that the whip only works sometimes. It's just making this take like twice as many tries as it should. Alright, so I have to do it early, but I have to get it at like a really good angle because that clearly doesn't work. It's hard to be that accurate with the thing, that's the problem. Okay. Oh, come on, man. Alright, well, I probably shouldn't. I mean, it's easy to get caught up doing this because you just want to finish it. And just knowing that you can, it makes you want to keep trying until you do it, and that's kind of how these kinds of games go. But for the sake of the video, I should probably wrap this up. It's probably a more reasonable thing to do. I could probably get this eventually. Already pretty close. I just can't. You have to do it at like a far angle, like something like this, to get that last part. Is just really hard to do that. Yeah. So as for what's here, I mean, I like the, I like games that have grappling and stuff. So this is, because this has so much of it, I definitely appreciate the concept behind it, and I do like the way you kind of get your double jump back and stuff like that. That feels good. Once I actually figured out how that works, that feels good. Obviously, the biggest problem I'm having in general is just the fact that the controls are so problematic currently. The fact that the whip is extraordinarily inconsistent. Maybe don't care for the jump physics as they currently are. It's very floaty at the top and very kind of fast falling afterwards. I think that makes it just harder than it needs to be. And that kind of stuff. Obviously the issues with the dead zone, which very easy to just change that. It's just a little variable. So all stuff that could be worked out for sure, and I think it'll make a big difference. I mean, obviously with this genre of game, it's crucial to nail the controls. Whereas right now, the controls are holding it back quite a bit. So those are at least pretty easy things to work with, and will definitely make a big difference in terms of how enjoyable this is. I don't know if this is the last level. It's certainly harder than the previous ones. But yeah, hopefully the video is useful for you. Still want to complete this. It's hard to not want to. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's just all of these situations where it's like really hard to deal with what the whip actually ends up doing. So that's pretty hard to work with. I don't know. It's not something that has like an obvious answer, like how you should make the whip work, I guess, but ugh, that's a really weird, really awkward part. Yeah, there must be some like really specific angle with like really specific momentum that's gonna carry you through that, but it's not obvious at all like what's actually gonna work at that part, right at the end there. So yeah, hopefully this was useful for you, and I'm looking forward to where you go with it, but let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.